So can we just take a moment of silence for the friends, relatives, and colleagues we've lost to substance use disorder and mental health disorders, and the battles they've had with loneliness and isolation. And take another second for the hundreds of people who will find love, support, and belonging at the Recovery Cafe of Lowell. Okay, good technique to get you quiet, right? Okay. So, sorry about the no microphone. We figured we're going to have 10, 12 people here. What do we need a microphone for? So I will try and talk loudly, and we have a small program. Then we're going to do the ribbon cutting. Love the ribbon cutting. We actually have a scissors that will cut ribbon. So thanks to Danielle from the Chamber of Commerce. So we want to introduce some of the people that are here. And I'm impressed with the number of people we have here from the city and from agencies. So if I forget you, please forgive me. But I do want to introduce you, and most of you know him anyway, Kelly Richardson, the Chief of Police. Kelly is a wonderful partner. As you know, we do a lot of things with the police department. I also want to introduce you to Jessica Houdon, the Regional Manager for the Bureau of Substance Abuse and responsible in great parts of this program. So Jessica. And of course, I have to introduce our landlord, who's not only our landlord, but probably our best partner with Behavioral Health Community Partnership and so many things we do. And we'll tell you in a minute, we're going to be honoring them on April 2nd. Sue Levine, the CEO. Councilor Rodney Elliott, where are you? Are you here?
I think he left.
Well, he was. We were on his tour for the night. So thank you, Rodney, for coming. Also, I do want to introduce two groups of people that have been so significant to what we've done. The first one is the Recovery Cafe. Now, what's the name of it? Where's Rich? The Recovery Cafe Network Advisory Committee. That's it. The Recovery Cafe Advisory Committee. And they were there at the beginning. I got to tell you, the first person to introduce us to the Recovery Cafe was Peter Lovett. Pastor Peter Lovett. Sarah over here. Anybody else from the advisory committee, please raise your hand. Somebody back there. Who's back there? Oh, okay.
Amanda, Gianna.
Okay. All right. Well, this is great, and they've been incredibly helpful. The other people I think that have been tremendously supportive of our efforts in terms of building a good recovery coaching community, and a recovery community, a peer community, is our board of directors. A number of them are here tonight, including John Kurland, our president. Please raise your hand if you're here. So I also want to introduce you to Chief Winward. Chief Winward, by the way, is at every event we have. He has been the most supportive person, and we love him especially because he's our neighbor at Zach's house. And he helps us at Zach's house. So, Chief.
Thanks, Bill.
And of course, on April 2nd, we will give a Lifetime Achievement Award to a woman who no one more in the city deserves a Lifetime Achievement Award for everything she's done. She's there for every person, and she never turns a person away. One of our favorite people in the world, the glue that actually holds this Recovery Cafe together, Rita Mercier. So, we have a couple of people that would like to speak tonight, and they're very important people to us. So, Marion Ryan is our district attorney, and as you know, Marion has been on top of the opioid crisis for so long, and she's such a good person in terms of what it means, and really is our leader. So, Marion, are you here? You're still here, right?
I think she left.
Did she leave? Okay. Well, Marion would say, in not so many words, keep up the good work, people. We're getting there. Is that what Marion would say? John Leahy, are you here?
I haven't seen him yet.
All right, we haven't seen John Leahy, our mayor, yet. But if he comes, we'll do it. So actually, we have one single speaker, and this person is responsible for all the recovery coaching programs, the recovery, peer recovery centers, and really is our leader in terms of all the things we're doing here today. Been so significant, and also helping us put together our Recovery Coaching Academy. So we'll tell you more about that at another time. From Bureau of Substance Abuse, it's Julia Ojeda.
Thank you. Wow, is this something or what? Yeah. You know, this is me. I am so excited. This is the first Recovery Cafe in New England. And so I come from the Bureau of Substance Addiction Services. My name is Julia Ojeda, and I'm the Recovery Support Services Coordinator for the state. And I have the privilege and the blessing of actually overseeing a lot of the peer recovery support services that we give. And just have some incredible staff that is here with me as well, Danielle and Jen and Jessica. And when I first came into the Bureau, 2011, we had, it was like 6 or 7 recovery support centers. And over the years, I think people recognize the value that centers actually empower people and strengthen communities. And a lot of folks from communities that don't understand what we do have actually acted as a barrier sometimes and saying, oh, we don't want a recovery support center in our community, and then then we come in and they start seeing the recovery that starts happening in that community, the love that people have for each other. And so I'm a person in long-term recovery, and recovery is incredibly important to me. I haven't had a drink or a drug in over 30-something years. And the person who actually saved my life was a nurse in the emergency room. And she came to me and she said, "Are you done?" I was there on an OD. And I said, "Yeah." And she took me into a room and she told me and connected me with a 12-step community at the time. And now we have emergency department recovery coaches all over the state of Massachusetts. And that's what she did. She actually acted as a recovery coach to me that day and saved my life. I haven't used since that day. Wow. And so the value of peer, recovery coaching is unbelievable. And we have done at the Bureau, we've provided trainings for over, I think we're getting close to 2,000 people who are interested in becoming recovery coaches. And we now have recovery coach supervisors that we train. This is the way to go. When people ask me about, the opioid epidemic, I say recovery support centers. This is what saves people's lives. You come out of a treatment center, you come out of a detox, you come out of a residential, and where do you go? There's no place to go. And so we now have 26 peer-run recovery support centers in the state of Massachusetts, more than any other state in the country. I would be remiss. Bill and I have known, where are you? There you go. Bill and I have known each other, how many years?
Oh, probably 30 years.
That's 30 years, at least 30 years. And so when he came and said, I want a recovery cafe, I was like, yes, I'm so happy. And the staff that's here is absolutely amazing. I am so proud and happy to be a member. Who here are peer members? Raise your hands if anybody who has come here as a peer. Yay! Welcome. Welcome. With this, Recovery Cafe is an amazing new model that we are encouraging and supporting people in the state of Massachusetts to grow in their communities. The more we have, the better it's going to be. This is a place where people will find family, this is a place where they'll find friendship, and there's a place where they'll find love. And with that, you can maintain and sustain recovery. Thank you.
a minute, I'm going to introduce you to our leader here at the Recovery Cafe. And I got to tell you, when we saw this building, it was one of the ugliest buildings.
It's not anymore.
That all is one solid brick wall, and boy, do we have arguments about getting that, the doors put in and everything else. But we did it. And the vision of what we have here, a two-time tripper to Seattle and to the Recovery Cafe in Seattle, the mothership. Rich Hollett has done an amazing job here of leading people, designing, and leading us into the future. So there's one thing I do want to mention about one of his staff, and he'll be very angry at me for embarrassing, but Jamie, where are you? Jamie, today is Jamie's 2-year anniversary. To introduce you, he's going to tell you a little bit of what the Recovery Cafe is, what it does, is Rich Hollett.
Hi everybody. I'm going to be really honest here. I'm a little emotional. Just getting that out there if you see a few tears. I'm going to start by saying I uprooted myself 2 years ago from Gloucester to live in Lowell, and I sort of did it on blind faith because what I experienced at Lowell House I couldn't find anywhere near me on the North Shore, and I was pretty specific. I was pretty specific what I was looking for. I wanted, well, I'll just tell you what I found. I walked into Lowell House and I sort of fell in love, not gonna lie. A very forward-thinking, committed, dedicated, willing to let go of the old and, push towards the new. At the time, I had no idea I would be standing here in this moment as the program director of the Recovery Cafe. But at the same time, I sort of had some feeling and I followed it. And I'm super grateful. And since then, I've also discovered that Lowell itself and the greater Lowell community is so ahead of its time. There's so much, there's just so much dedication and willingness to do whatever it takes to help people who struggle with substance use, mental health issues, homelessness. It's just so ahead of its time. So I can't even begin to tell you how just profoundly grateful I am. And really, all of you represent exactly what I'm grateful for. So thank you all very much. I would like to bring my staff up here, Jamie, Kate, and Nicole, to introduce them. I was gonna,
Sorry, I
do that, but you sort of stole my thunder over there. This is Jamie Kragarabat. He's our program coordinator. Nicole Cardell, our member engagement coordinator. And Kate McCoy, our volunteer coordinator. Very briefly, the Recovery Cafe is a membership program. The member requirements are 24-hour sobriety, participate in a weekly recovery circle, give back to the community, which is essentially a chore of some sort, and practice the guiding principles. I always sort of make a thing about describing or further talking about the 24-hour sobriety. If someone comes here and they're not sober, we're going to not let them into the space because it's very important to us to keep the space safe. But at the core of Recovery Cafe, everything we do, every color on the walls, every piece of furniture in here, every decision we've made was specifically made to convey love to everyone who walks in. So if someone shows up and they're under the influence of something, we're gonna walk out with a cup of coffee, with a plate of food, whatever it takes, give them a hug, connect them to a recovery coach or co-op team, or whatever, we're gonna meet them where they're at and help them. So essentially, yeah, in one word, what is Recovery Cafe? It's right there, love. So That's all I got. I can't even tell you how grateful I am. I feel like I've longed for this environment since I was a little boy, and here it is.
Thank you all. And listen, we're going to do our ribbon cutting now. Make this absolutely official, and it's officially open. We have souvenir mugs. Now, these aren't the real Recovery Cafe mugs. I got to warn you, Amanda's here. And by the way, I should say something about Amanda. She is our director of all the recovery coaching programs and our behavioral health community partnership, and really works with Rich, and she's wonderful. Amanda, where are you? Just raise your hand and say hello. Now, this is, by the way, the chamber. This is their scissors. This is actual scissors that works. Okay, so watch yourself. They really are.
Don't worry, I'm an
So,
EMT.
Chief, come on up. Everybody sort of grab a little piece of this. Rita,
This is how I get cut.
Come on, Chief. We can't make no mistakes with the chief here.
No.
You ready? 1, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I have a presentation, a citation I wanted to present. My colleagues, Frida Mercier, Councilor Mercier is here, and Sakari Chow. I don't know if anybody else made it, but if you guys want to come up. So I have a citation. Be it hereby known to all that the City of Lowell in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts hereby offers its sincerest congratulations and recognition to Recovery Cafe through the Lowell House Addiction Treatment Recovery. Since 1971, the Lowell House has been providing the greater Lowell area with outstanding support and recovery, and addiction services that are accessible and affordable. The city congratulates the Lowell House on its grand opening of the Recovery Cafe. So now, therefore, I, Mayor John J. Leahy, and the entire City Council offer its best to the Recovery Cafe, given this 6th day of February 2020. Signed by myself. So thank you. Straight ahead.
You get it? All right, yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.